When the Ottoman Empire first began, it was a rising power on land, but the seas around them were controlled by powerful enemies, the Byzantines, the Vatranians, and Genoes. The Ottomans understood something important: no empire can survive without controlling the waters around it. Their trade, their security, their future all depends on sea. So the Ottomans made a bold decision. They would build a navy unlike anything else world ever seen. A navy strong enough to challenge the greatest fleets of Europe, a navy that could protect their coasts, expand their influence, and open new paths for trade. And so shipbuilders, sailors, commanders gathered at all small ports, working day and night. Wooden planks became hulls, sails were lifted, cannons were forged. A dream was taking shape, the dream of a maritime empire. Before the Ottomans could rule these seas, they needed a home for their fleets. That's when they built the first great dockyards, especially the famous Gallipoli dockyard, which became the heart of their naval rise. These docks were filled with workers, tools, ropes, timber, and the constant sound of hammers hitting nails. Gallipoli became the starting point of everything: training sailors, repairing ships, building war galleys, and creating tactics that would shock their rivals. Captains from across Anatolia came here to learn. Young boys learned to tie knots, row with strength, and navigate storms. The dockyard was more than a workplace, it was the birthplace of future naval superpower. From there, ships sailed out and carrying the symbol of a rising empire. Every powerful navy needs brilliant leaders. The Ottoman had them, commanders like Umar Bey and later Barbaros Haridin inspiration were fearless, bold, and creative. They understood the seas better than their enemies. They didn't follow all European tactics. Instead of, they used speed, mobility, and teamwork. Their flight ships moved faster than their crews, were better trained. The captains took risks the others feared to take. These commanders taught the Ottomans a lesson: the seas belongs to the brave, and with every victory, the empire grew more confident. Word spread across the Mediterranean that a power was rising. One of the smartest moves the Ottomans made was taking control of the Dardanelles Strait, a narrow passage that connects the Aegean Sea to the Sea of Marmara. Whoever controlled the waterway controlled the door of Constantinople. The Ottomans protected the strait with fortresses on both sides and patrolled it with fast moving ships. Enemies could no longer attack easily. Traders had respect Ottoman waters. This control did something powerful. It allowed the Ottomans to expand safely, move troops quickly, and limit the influence of rival navies. It was like holding a key to a locked gate, a gate that would soon open the path of the empire. The early Ottoman navy proved itself in several key battles. Small victories at sea against the Vatranians and Genoes showed how Europe the Ottomans were no longer land-based warriors only. They were becoming a real naval force. Their ships were fast, their sailors were disciplined, and their commanders took bold risks. Each victory strengthened the empire's confidence. Markets grew, trade routes opened, and the cities near the coast began to rely on Ottoman protection. These early battles were not the grand battles of later years, but they were the foundation, they were the message. The Ottomans have arrived at sea. Gallipoli didn't just build ships, it built culture. Over time, it became a city of sailors, merchants, and craftsmen. Lanterns glowed at night as people worked late into the evening, preparing ships for long journeys. You could walk through Gallipoli and see carpenters shaping hulls, blacksmiths forging nails, and commanders discussing strategy. The port was alive with energy. Gallipoli was also the training center of the Ottoman Navy. Young men learned rowing, formation, naval combat drills, and even how to fight on docks of moving ships. It was becoming clear this was not a temporary navy, this was the beginning of a legacy. As the Ottomans' land expanded, so did their need for strong navy. They had new coastlines, new islands, new trade routes, all of which needed protection. The enemies of empire were watching closely. Venice feared losing control of the Mediterranean trade. Genoa worried about its ports. Even the Byzantines felt pressure. The Ottoman ship began to circle their waters. The Ottomans responded by building more ships and training sailors. The navy was no longer a dream, it was a shield that protected their people, their trade, their future. By the end of this period, Ottoman navy had transformed from small region force into a rising Mediterranean power. The foundations were strong, the commanders were brilliant, and the dockyards were more active than ever. But the greatest age was still ahead, the age of Barbaros Haridin Pasha, the admiral who would shake Europe and make the Ottoman rulers of the sea. Part 1 is just the beginning. In Part 2, the Ottoman navy will rise to heights no one imagined, facing massive European fleets, changing the balance of power, carving their name into history of Mediterranean. Please wait for the next episode. Thank you.